Welcome to Storytime. It had been 3 years since Red had conquered the Pokemon League. His legend had spread like wildfire. There wasn't anyone in Kanto and its neighboring countries who didn't know of his journey. Bird Jesus, the Dragon Slayer, and Red's other Pokemon became overnight celebrities, and trainers far and wide were inspired by his story. However, the biggest impact was the revelation of Lord Omastar. The Church of the Helix was established to spread Lord Omastar's teachings, with Red as one of its central figures. In no time at all, the Helix religion spread far and wide, and many now believed in the chaotic spiral of fate. Another church arose also, the Church of the Dome. It was a bastion of those who loved order. The two churches were diametrically opposed, but they respected each other and coexisted peacefully. But then, one day, Red disappeared. There were rumors, of course, as there will be. Some said that Red had journeyed to a far-off land to conquer the Pokemon League there. Some said that the disbanded Team Rocket had taken him out, revenge for the defeat. Some claimed that Red had ventured into Cerulean Cave seeking a rare Pokemon, and that when he emerged, something had changed within him. Whatever happened, Red was gone. Losing the Pokemon League champion was a shock, but no one knew how big the impact would really be. Bereft of their god, the Church of the Helix was unsure of how to proceed. Seeing a chance to take advantage of the people's faith and their confusion at the disappearance, certain members of the church tried to capitalize on the absence and took over. Corruption was rampant, as the greed of men took root and began to control what should have been an institution of love and kindness. The Helix religion had become such an integral part of society that taking control of it meant that the people in charge had incredible power and influence within Kanto and the neighboring region of Johto. They loved their newfound status, and it was their sincere hope that Red would stay wherever it was he had gone to. As the people were taken under by a force that no longer had their interests at heart, they would need a new hero. AJ was a boy from New Barktown in the land of Johto. AJ had noticed that things had been changing, that something was wrong. He had followed Red's journey closely and was eagerly awaiting his return to restore balance to the world. Gradually, though, it became clear that he would not be coming back, and AJ could no longer sit back and do nothing. If the current champion couldn't bring peace, a new champion would just have to arise. The time had come for AJ to receive his first Pokemon. His neighbor, Professor Elm, had agreed to give him one in exchange for running a small errand. AJ picked an energetic Totodile. Its favorite move was Leer, normally only used to intimidate opponents, but its gaze was so powerful that other Pokemon bowed before him. AJ named him Laser Gator and set out on his journey. AJ and Laser walked to Mr. Pokemon's house. Following Red's example, AJ went off in different directions at random, letting himself come to his destination the longest way possible. Mr. Pokemon had found a strange egg that he wanted Professor Elm to examine. He also had another visitor, Professor Oak. Oak saw the same spark in AJ that he had in Red. He decided to give AJ a Pokedex so that he could catalog his journey and help Oak with his research. He told AJ he was destined for great things, and that he was looking forward to seeing his story unfold. As he left, another stranger crossed AJ's path. A gruff young man named Silver had appeared before him, challenging him to a Pokemon battle. His Chikorita was strong, but Laser bested it, and the boy ran off bitterly. Back in New Barktown, AJ found Professor Elm in a panic. Someone had broken into his lab and stolen one of his Chikoritas. AJ realized it must have been Silver, and vowed to stop him if they met again. Handing over the egg and leaving once more, it was time to start catching some Pokemon. The first he encountered was a Pidgey. It cowered, afraid to fight AJ. Ever since Abba had risen to glory, trainers had been catching Pidgeys by the dozen. However, none proved Abba's equal, and so many of them were callously abandoned. AJ smiled at the Pidgey, understanding its trepidation. He assured it that he didn't want another Abba. Whoever that Pidgey was good enough for him. It perked up and AJ caught it, naming it Brian. His next teammate was a Sentret, who he named the Admiral. Experienced in the ways of war, he helped AJ train his other Pokemon. Next up was Oxy Osborne, the Caterpie. AJ's team was shaping up quite nicely. He journeyed on, battling other trainers. He made quick friends with a youngster named Joey, whose Rattata was said to be in the top percentage of all Rattata. They exchanged phone numbers so they could talk again. During the journey, Laser proved to be incredibly strong. With AJ and the Admiral advising him, he quickly outclassed the rest of the team, carrying AJ through the final part of the road when all the others had fainted. Coming to Violet City, AJ was confident he could win his first gym badge. Faulkner was a master of flying Pokemon, but Laser had already grown strong enough to defeat his entire team on his own. AJ had earned his badge, and he knew his dream could be a reality. He left for Sprout Tower, bumping into one of Professor Elm's assistants. He gave AJ a mysterious egg and asked him to hold on to it. Ascending Sprout Tower, Laser grew strong enough to evolve. However, at the Admiral's suggestion, he decided to hold off, to keep training as his Totodile in order to grow even stronger. At the top of the tower was Sage Lee, who handed AJ his first defeat before the boy reclimbed the tower and bested him. As he was leaving the tower, the mystery egg began to hatch. A small yellow head poked out of the eggshell, revealing a Togepi with a regal aura. AJ named it Prince Omelette, and the team immediately grew to love their new ally, protective of the newborn. The next new Pokemon was Whooper Goldberg, giving AJ a complete team. After making his way through Union Cave, he came to Azalea Town. Its most famous resident was Kurt, a master Pokeball smith. Unfortunately, he was quite vexed. There was a nearby well full of Slowpoke, and their tails were being cut off by none other than the reformed Team Rocket. AJ knew that defeating Team Rocket had been a large part of Red's journey, and vowed not to let them injure Pokemon again. He followed Kurt to the Slowpoke well. Local legend said that their yawns could bring the rains, so it was a place of much importance. It was swarming with Team Rocket members and tailless Slowpokes, but with Laser Gator at the helm, AJ plowed through them. Along the way, Prince Omelette learned Metronome, a move that would use any attack at random, making him potentially a force to be reckoned with. The Rocket Grunts fled the well, swearing to get revenge. Luckily, the Slowpoke tails would grow back soon, so they would be fine. Kurt thanked AJ, giving him a homemade lure ball and wishing him luck on his upcoming gym battle. Before he could make it to the Azalea gym though, Silver confronted him. He was surprised to hear that AJ had fought Team Rocket, and didn't believe it. He challenged AJ to a battle, but AJ won again. Silver was furious. He declared his Pokemon weak, and said that there was nothing he hated more than weakness. He vowed to beat Team Rocket himself before running off. Finally, it was time for the gym battle. The Azalea leader Bugsy used, wait for it, Bug Pokemon. Almost all of AJ's Pokemon fell to his insects, but Laser proved himself once more and vanquished all of Bugsy's team. With his second badge acquired, AJ continued into Ilex Forest. He helped a trainer find his lost Farfetch'd, a disciple of the Fallen Ducks, Slayer of Trees. In return, the trainer asked Farfetch'd to teach the Admiral how to use Cut. The training lasted for hours, but the Admiral refused to give up until he had mastered the technique. Finally, the training concluded, and the Admiral cut through the trees blocking the forest's exit. AJ was now in Goldenrod City, a thriving metropolis. He went to the radio tower, where he was offered an upgrade for his Pokegear if he could correctly answer a quiz. Asking himself what Red would do, AJ answered the questions completely at random, and had to retry the quiz several times before he succeeded, obtaining the radio card. It was on to the next gym battle, and AJ was feeling confident. After all, it was a normal type gym, how hard could it be? As it turned out, the Goldenrod gym, headed by Whitney, was a gauntlet of hardened, bloodthirsty trainers who decimated most of AJ's team. By the time he finally got to Whitney, only Laser Gator was left. He had swept both gyms so far, so AJ was sure he could win now. It was then that Whitney unleashed Miltank. From the moment she was released, a hush fell over the room, all eyes on the battle. Laser Gator had never met a foe so strong, and for the first time it found itself trembling with fear. Miltank curled up and began to roll around the arena, which rumbled with the force. With every turn it took, it gained more power, and Laser Gator was knocked out with a series of thunderous blows. Defeated, AJ returned to the Pokemon Center. The team was despondent, feeling as if all their training had been for nothing. Even the Admiral, who kept the group's morale up, was silent. It was Prince Omelette, the youngest of the team, whose boundless cheer managed to lift the other's spirits. AJ was nervous about the gym and was afraid to go back so soon, but the team banded together and insisted on going back right away. Returning to the gym, ready for a rematch, AJ engaged Whitney once more. Brian fought Clefairy, who used her metronome to conjure an electric attack that took it out. Oxy Osborne switched in and whittled it down, before Laser finished it off. It was time to fight Miltank, and with the Admiral and Prince Omelette at his side, Laser Gator prepared to fight once more. Again, Miltank used Rollout, but having seen the attack already, Laser was able to withstand it and return with his own. Miltank was defeated, the other gym trainers amazed. AJ was thrilled until Whitney broke down into tears, sobbing loudly. AJ wasn't really sure what to do, so he just kinda let it go on for a while, until Whitney quickly calmed down and rewarded him the badge, commending him on a well-fought battle. As he left the gym, his spirits high, AJ didn't notice the robed figures watching him. His seemingly invincible Totodile and their team of renegades had attracted quite a bit of attention, and something would have to be done about them. Thanks for watching Storytime. If you'd like to see more, you can subscribe, or you can follow me on Twitter or Tumblr to get updates when new videos come out. See you soon!